Hello again and welcome to Straight Out the Group Chat. Today we have a special guest, Terrence Richburg. Say hello to the people, Terrence.
Hello, people. Hello, people. How y'all doing?
For those that don't know, this is our classmate. We went to high school with him. We all finished high school in 2009. We not old. We just seasoned.
Yeah.
Seasoned.
Yeah, for sure.
We seasoned. So we was just talking off camera. I mean, just to give y'all a little background. Terrence is him. Just in case y'all didn't know, he him. He doing his big one. He about to get ring. Mm-hmm. I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
I think that's like news to share to the world, to be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's tough out here. And when you find someone who can add to your life, you can add to theirs. And you guys are on your grown person and not about games. It's something to celebrate for sure.
For sure.
I'm amazed. I am, but it's like it's a good thing because it's refreshing to hear a man that knows what he wants, that's dating with intention, to say, this is what I want and this is what I have, and
Exactly.
that you also have been working on yourself and you have gotten to that point.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Again, congratulations, and I'm waiting on my invite. Thanks.
That's all right. I'll make sure you get one.
So we just want to have like a informal conversation, just kind of like guide the conversation. So since we were talking about dating and partners and relationships, so what are some of your, like, when you met your woman or your fiance, what were some of the qualities that you looked for in a woman?
Wow. So really, truly what I was looking for was someone who was equally yoked with me. And what I mean by equally yoked, not on the same level, but someone who shares the same morals, the same visions, and had desired the same things that I want for the future. And it's not anything monetary or not anything in dealing with careers. It's just sharing a life, raising a family, making sure that we allow God to be first in our lives. So that's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for my girl. She fine. Don't get me wrong.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, but when you get to a certain age, that superficial stuff. Well, let me take this back. Any man who's a mature and grown man, that superficial phase tends to take a backseat. Of course, we are of habits. We want to make sure that we're physically attracted to our mates, but that's not the most important part of a relationship. And I was just in a point in my life where I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish as far as my career. I could really truly pour into someone, and I wanted someone to be able to pour into me, and we found each other. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
So Terrence,
that's awesome.
Can I ask you something? So
Yes.
Do you think that you would have found her before you got established?
I don't think so. This is what I'm going to say, and I tell her this all the time. Established or not, if I would have met her before I decided to do the work that I needed to be able to be in a healthy relationship, I would have fumbled her.
Ooh.
I would have fumbled her. Because I would let my insecurities, my fears transform into self-sabotage, and I would have fumbled her. So it's not really a thing about being established. I'm glad that I am established because I'm able to pour into her. Like I said, I've been a global director of HR. I'm currently consulting with the state. I had the luxury apartment in Midtown Charlotte. Like, I had all that. I've done all that. It's not about me anymore. It's about me pouring into her and helping her guide her future, and we grow our future together. So I don't think if a man is established and he's looking for a woman to be established, then they really truly ain't gonna create anything tangible together. That's the reason why people get divorced.
Right.
worry about I'm protecting what's mine before I got here instead of working towards building something together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So no, I think I would have met her either way. But my thing is, if I didn't do the work I need to do, I would have fumbled her for sure.
I like that. See, to your point when you're saying about like if you met her earlier, you would have fumbled her. And I think like a lot of people, men and women, because we don't make this a gender thing, but I'm just saying people, period. I think people don't understand like doing that self-work and, digging into those problems, things that make you tick, things that, and we're all advocates for therapy. I believe, I'm in therapy. I'm actively in therapy. And so just understanding, like you said, our human errors or our human traumas or whatever the case may be. I think going through the therapy and working on, the self-work, I think when you get to a certain level within yourself and understand yourself more, then you attract who God has for you.
Yes, indeed. And that's what I credit, I was like, Lord, I put what I wanted out there. I said, if it was for me, it's for me. And like I said, I'm just going to focus on myself. And then things start working. All of a sudden, boom, and I tell her on a daily basis that she's my blessing for sure. So I will make sure I do everything I can to make sure that I treat her as such. So, yeah.
It's not like a Disney movie.
No, it's not now. Now I mess up here and there. Don't get me wrong. I mess up here and there. And, but my thing is I'm committed to understanding her. I'm committed to making sure I know her well enough so that I can love her in the way that she feels required, where she feels loved. She feels understood. She feels safe.
Yeah.
So
not Disney, it's just maturity.
It's maturity.
It's maturity.
It's maturity. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm happy for you. Once again, I am. So we were talking about off camera. We hinted on the political climate, and I just wanted to ask you about that. So what impact do you think the current social and political climate has on the Black community, Black relationships, whether it be romantic or platonic, et cetera, et cetera? How do you think the current climate has an impact?
Well, I mean, the fact that we don't know what's going on and the world's in a crazy way should be pulling us together. So that's what I hope it should be doing, but I don't see that. But as far as the Black community, the political climate and Black folks are not a monolith. And I know that they said that there's some increased support among Black males when it comes to Donald Trump. And I think it's those dudes who want to be seen, those men who want to be seen more than just the color of their skin. I do believe that Democrats and Republicans, they do play racial politics. They play, identity politics, that it goes on both sides. And I could understand being a Black man being seen first for the color of my skin, good or bad, so I can understand the struggle and the issue that Black men have. I just want to have a job. I just don't want to be a Black man without a job. I just want to be a man with a job.
Right.
So, but my thing is, I think some individuals within that sector of Black men, I think they let that desire to be seen more than just a Black man kind of cloud their judgment. You know what I mean? They just go sour. Go sour on one side and get real comfortable with the other side, and they really don't truly understand what side really truly has their best interest in mind. Even if we don't get 100% of what we want, I'd rather take the 50% than the tangible 50% than go to this person who's just loud and promising the world to us just to get a vote. And there's nothing tangible there to say that they're going to do what they say. So I just think that as Black men, yes, I think it's I understand. We want to be seen more than just who we are, as far as Black men. But my thing is, we can't let that cloud our judgment. We have to be smart. We have to be able to critically think, draw conclusions, and be able to understand that in order to fix the system, you have to be a part of the system. So, yeah, your vote does count. My thing is, Black people say a lot of Black folks say, "Well, my vote don't count." They already know who's going to win in the first place. If that was the case, why do you think they gerrymander so bad? Why do you think they try to strike down parts of the Voting Rights Act?
Correct.
It really truly didn't matter. Why do you think they try to go out here and lie and smooze to you to get your vote if it really truly didn't matter?
Very true.
So, yeah. So my thing is, we have to be smarter. We have to be more informed and educated. We just can't go off with the way we feel. And that's one thing we do as Black folks. We get very, very, very passionate. We get very passionate, and to the point that sometimes we don't really truly think. Take the time to decompress and actually see what's before us to make the smartest decisions for ourselves and for our families and for our communities.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think for me, my personal experience, I mean, just being in different locations with, throughout the country and seeing like, when you have like different parts of the world, and it's like, even when I'm here, it's like, it's just so tense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so tense. It's hard to deal with, but it's like, you just kind of like, you get numb to it after a while,
Yeah. And that's right.
Yeah.
And that's right. And it's, I feel that tension. I live with that tension, especially working for the government, working for the state. We're in a purple state, and it's a highly contested race for governor. And, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder to make sure I don't say anything to offend anybody. I don't do anything to offend anybody, because it tends to echo louder because of who I am. I'm a Black man.
Yeah.
Terrence, how do you deal with that? Like, being a Black man, you kind of have to be slow to anger. And
I had a lot of practice working in HR for the last 10 years. So I always had to be the calm one in the room. I always had to be the forward-thinking individual in the room. I am a big believer in emotional intelligence. So I try my best to, if I'm in an argument with someone or in a situation, I try to empathize and try to understand how they feel, so I know how to best to respond and have them actually hear me. So honestly, my professional life has really helped me kind of keep myself in check in line. Is it tiresome sometimes? Yes. Has it had some negative reaction in my personal life? Yes. Because the reason why I am in therapy now is because I started to utilize some of that HR mindset to my personal life set to mitigate risk, to keep myself from being hurt. So in a way it helps, but then again, it does have a negative effect too if you do it long term. So right now, like I said, just going through therapy and understanding that, no one thinks that highly of you. My therapist had to say that, like, no one thinks that much of you, Terrence.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to be perfect. I felt like I had. And this goes back to when we were in school together. I know y'all remember me. I kind of came off a little pretentious, a little bit of a know-it-all, a little stuffy.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't like, it was kind of like you were a unique person, but it wasn't like intolerable. Okay. It was just like he's different.
He's like, different, right?
Yeah. But it
you
was
were
like
an adult before we became adults.
Yes. Yes. You definitely were. You always gave grown man, I ain't come to play with y'all type of vibe.
Focused.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But that came from a place of insecurity. Like,
really?
That came from a place of insecurity. that came a place to try to protect myself. That gave me a reason not to go out there and put myself out there. I could just be reserved because, in my mind back then, I was like, I'm above this. I'm above this. Really, truly, I was scared. There was a lot of insecurities, and that really, truly, what made me who I am today. It's pushed me in my career. It's just that insecurity, feeling like I was behind. So, but yeah.
Wow, that's so profound when you say that, because again, I'm in therapy and I have voiced to my therapist, just dealing with different things, different traumas, working through those things. But like you said, I think sometimes insecurity can be loud, but insecurity can also be very subtle. Like it can be in the background, but it's like, for me, I know, and I've told myself this time and time again, I had to pretty much calm myself down because I was trying to be overly successful and overly achieving or going after the next thing, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, to prove a point to who?
Exactly.
Like, to prove a point to who? Like,
to who? And that's what my therapist said. No one cares that much, Terrence.
But it's fact.
It's fact. It's fact. No one cares that much. But no, but yeah, that's the thing. That's what really truly made me who I am, but I'm learning how to, as I got older and more mature, and I started seeking help from a professional, because it got to a point where it was unbearable. It got to a point where it was unbearable. And I found myself having to go out rather than sitting alone, and,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I would go out all the time, or I would pick up on drinking and stuff like that.
Were you trying to cope? Is that what
I was trying to cope?
You was trying to cope.
I was trying to cope because it's like I let my insecurities put me in this mindset. I work, and I felt like I wasn't accomplished until I went to therapy and they actually had me lift my head up and be like, you accomplished all of this. What are you talking about? You are so worried about failing that you overlook the fact that you've succeeded.
Wow.
And then it was just like, and I use that as an excuse because I can control work. I can control aspect of my future. But I allow myself to have that as an excuse, because what I really truly wanted in my life was wife, children. And I felt like I can't control this. This is scary. I don't want to be vulnerable. So it's like I was building my own excuses and not to get what I truly want. And I wasn't happy.
Is this a therapy session? I feel like I'm in therapy right now.
Terrence is doing the work.
I feel like you're talking about me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. Yeah.
Okay, now let me take my notes because I'm gonna talk about this.
One thing about therapy, when you do the work, you'll see it. You'll see the fruits of your labor.
Yes, you do, and everyone else will too, without even without you saying anything. Like, I go to work now and I'm with my family, and they said, "Well, you look a whole lot happier. I could see the change in you." I'm like, "Well, thank you."
Wow.
Also, too, I'm more healthier now, so I have a dietitian. I'm going to the gym because my baby wants me to be healthy. So I'm like, you know what? Yes, you're right. I'm gonna be around for a long time. We're gonna have children. We're past 30, so we gotta make sure we keep ourselves healthy. So yeah, she's been motivating me too to continuously improve, and that's what I wanted. I want someone who sees a vision of me and them, and me and her in it together, and we do what we need to do together to make sure we can achieve whatever goals we have set for ourselves.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm here for it again. I need an invite to the wedding. That's all I'm saying. So when we were talking about you being a Black man and your HR experience, your extensive experience with the government, et cetera, what have been some of the key experiences that have shaped who you are today?
Um, One, my drive. I knew I wanted to be a manager. I knew I wanted to be some director or leader of some kind
Mhm.
in HR. So what I focused on first and foremost was gaining experience. So there was a period where I struggled. I struggled real bad. I took
Mhm.
on jobs that weren't paying much of anything in nonprofits. I got my first job in HR just to gain the experience. I did that for about a year and some change.
Mhm.
And then I took suicide missions where I actually had to assisted in establishing an HR department for an organization.
Mhm.
So gaining that experience in the different functions of HR is really truly what helped push me, and also having those unique experiences of actually establishing HR departments from the ground up. Because in my last job, I was their founding HR manager, US HR manager, and then they decided to expand, and then I got global HR experience, and I became a global HR director. It was stressful, but it was a lot of experience, good experience that helped build my resume. But I tell anybody, when I used to be a talent acquisition and retention specialist, and I would go out to these schools or I'd be on these advisory boards, I would encourage these folks like, yes, I know you have student loans, money is important, but what's more important is the experience, because the competition is fierce out here. It's a lot of people out in this market, and you got to make sure you have one leg up. Your degree is just going to get you in the door,
Right.
but it's not going to give you the job. So really, truly just look at where you can gain experience and being humble, just being humble and saying yes, being open to learn different things. It may not be in your job description, but hey, they ask you to do it, you do it well, and you add it to your resume.
True.
Also too, my emotional intelligence, and being pleasant and being polite and
Yeah.
knowing how to talk to people and learning how to treat people. That got me a long way. That
I
really has
agree.
got me a long way. You just can't throw me. If you're in a bad mood, you need to leave that at home. You need to come to work fresh.
Yeah.
You gotta leave that. Leave that negative energy at home. The more people on the job, they ain't do nothing to you. So don't take whatever frustration you have out on them. And if they are getting on your nerves, you better find another outlet rather than to blow up.
I'm gonna get them right there, Terrence. I can't do nothing. I'm gonna get them right there and there.
You know what? The best type of revenge is doing and living well. That's the best type
I
of
agree.
revenge, is living well. Yes, I want to yes, ain't nothing like get back. I feel you. I understand that. And I still have that person in me as well. But my thing is, see, at first it was like, okay, I don't want to be seen as an angry black man.
Okay.
That was one. But now, if I have an issue with managers and things that I have now, I know what I'm trying to do. I ain't let nothing come between me and my paper, because I got responsibilities to take care of.
I like that.
I want a home. I'm gonna soon have a wife. I want to make sure I build a proper foundation for her so that she can bloom and blossom and do her thing. I can invest in her business and things of that nature. I got to make moves. So I got to get over myself and do what I need to do to make excuse my language. I was about to say shit happen, but excuse my language.
No, you good. You're good.
Yeah. So those are just a couple things. Just keeping your head, that emotional intelligence, just being nice, being pleasant, not being a pushover.
Right. I think in my personal experience working in corporate America, I think it can be one of the most emotionally draining places in the world. I have never, working at these corporate jobs and working with different personalities and things like that, it does teach you a lot about yourself, like you were saying about emotional intelligence. Now, yes, I do have that little bit in me that's like, okay, that right there, let's calm it down. But at the same time, it's just about duality, balance, making sure that, like you said, you're still showing yourself favorable, but letting them know I ain't the one.
Exactly.
Now
How
let me
you
ask
doing?
you this. So do you feel like sometimes you have to leave your true self at home before you go to work? Or do you just mold yourself into what you need to be for work?
Early in my career, yes, but I am confident in myself enough to be who I am.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
um, right now I'm in a situation because I've been a director, and I'm working for someone who is in their first go as a manager. And I felt that I needed to kind of mute myself because I can survey him. Because, like I said,
Mm,
I've been there, I've done
yeah.
that. I see things that you lack. I see things that you need to improve in,
Mm-hmm.
and I start to see that he may have some insecurities as well with me
Mm,
being there. But my thing is, and I try to quiet myself. But my thing is, I can be a leader and still be an individual contributor. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
I mean, I can be able to feel comfortable to speak up and give my thoughts and opinions on things. That's what I'm here for. I consult
Yeah.
for. I mean, that's my job. So
Yeah.
I can't let that mute me. So yeah, and there are some cases where I had to get him in line, you know. But my thing is, I just come very stern and serious. But you can be serious and you can be firm and still be professional. You can
Yeah.
properly dress someone down and be professional. You
Mm-hmm.
really truly can. It's about how you communicate it, how you convey it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One thing I love to do, I'm really good at drafting emails, and I can get very wordy. I can get very wordy. I'm a living, breathing thesaurus, and I will talk over your head to a point where I'm saying what I really truly want to say with you, but you're not going to understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, because you don't. We're not on that same level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it's
not
so
really.
difficult.
But one tool that I do have is, if I feel like a point or I'm hot at work because an employer, manager, supervisor made me hot, I'll type out what I have to say the way I want to say it, and then I don't even send it. I don't even send it. I just get it out. So it's out. It's out from I said what I had to say, and then I just find a way to tailor and craft it where it will be received. Because my thing is, if someone pisses you off and you will go at them mad, what is that going to solve?
Right.
They're
Right.
going to get
Right.
defensive.
That's true.
So you
Yeah.
sort of journal before you actually send the real email.
Yes, you got to think.
Mhm.
Pause, and people don't do that. Pause.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can't control what everybody else does, but you can
Right.
control you. And if you allow someone to their behavior, their attitude to control you, get you out of shape, who really truly has the power then?
Correct. Correct. I think for me, like, I definitely have had to curtail my responses, my
Mhm.
facial expressions. I'm very expressive through my face. So I've learned to try to kind of, tone it down a little bit. But to your point, Terrence, what you were saying about getting out what you have to say,
Mhm.
I can do that. I had to learn it. It's a skill I had to acquire. But when I learned how to calm myself down, because like you said, if I'm upset, and I'm showing like I'm acting out of emotion, like you said, because some of us can be emotional,
Mhm.
um, then we're not getting anything solved. And then it's like the person is not gonna receive what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
Again, I know how to be fair to both parties, myself and the other person, but it's not gonna be you not finna just talk to me crazy. It's just not, you're not gonna disrespect me. The microaggressions, the
Mhm.
extra, all the other stuff that go on in corporate America,
Yeah,
we're not doing it. We not, because the thing is, if I respect you, you're
exactly.
gonna respect me. Period.
Exactly, and that's the one thing I said. You don't have to like me. I'm not looking. I'm not here to be liked, but I will be respected. And my thing is, before I have a shouting match around people, we will go into your office. We'll go somewhere and we'll talk about this offline, and you
Yeah,
understand where I'm coming from.
yeah,
There's been instances where I had to do that too. So yeah, my thing is, yes, someone come at you, you want to clap back real fast, it make you feel good, but it solves absolutely nothing.
yeah. Nah.
Especially
Oh,
as a black man and black woman, because they always all of a sudden just think they always think that we're just angry.
Yeah.
I told us already.
Yeah.
They
And
have
you know, to your point when you're saying we're always angry, it's like I remember I worked at a credit union when I moved here, and any day that I did not feel like talking or being like performative in a sense, they were like, "Oh, Shalonda, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, I am just sitting here existing. I don't feel like it today. There's nothing wrong with me. I just don't feel like it right now. Just let me exist, inhale and exhale, and maybe in an hour or two, maybe I feel like it, maybe I won't, but it's not. I just want to sit here and breathe the air. I don't want to have to talk to anybody. And it's not like a bad vibe. It's just today I'm not feeling like it today.
Exactly.
So I think we get charged with that sometimes though. Like we're like, oh, you know, that's the life of the party. No, I'm not the party. I'm not.
Yeah. And I was like that too. And especially because my natural resting face is just I look like my pops. You know, we always get mad when we're not mad. I'm fine. I'm just sitting here breathing in my space. So, and at one time I felt like I had to be very cautious of that, but I'm just like, no, I'm open. I'm approachable, and in those moments where people want to talk to me, I let them talk. I make sure I keep the conversation to a minimum so that it won't prolong the situation. And my thing is, once they're done, they go away, and I go back to my business.
Literally, just like that.
Yeah, just like that. I'm like, yeah, okay, real. That's nice. Okay, all right. Well, you have a good one now. Yeah.
Facts. I'm the same way. I'm the same exact way. Well, Terrence, we didn't want to keep you on here too long. Demetria, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm just glad that Terrence came on the show. He dropped a bunch of gems.
Terrence, this was awesome.
It was awesome. It was an awesome interview.
Well, yeah, it was nice talking to y'all, catching up. But yeah, man, yeah, have you back anytime. I'll be happy to talk with y'all.
I did have one more thing, Terrence, before we get you off. One last thing is, what's one bit of advice you can offer to the young men, the young black men now? What kind of advice would you offer them?
It's a lot. Oh, it's a lot I would like to say. Don't be the stereotype. Don't be the stereotype. Be true to yourself and who you are, but don't be the stereotype. And when I mean that, don't emulate everything that you see. Don't do everything that your friends say to do that they think is cool. Be comfortable in being yourself, living in your own vulnerability.
Like that.
Yeah.
I like
just
that.
don't be the stereotype. Yeah.
I like that. Well, I think that was it, Terrence. We definitely got to have you back on here because I enjoyed this. This was awesome.
Yes.
Terrence, I enjoyed it too.
A lot of good information and a lot of advice that young men can carry with them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, ladies, I appreciate y'all inviting me on. Please, I wish this the most success.
Thank you.
For y'all. And yeah, I'll be happy to come back anytime.
All right. Well, we definitely have you back, and you have a good night. Thank you again for coming.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Bye, Terrence.
Bye.